Welcome to the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. Here's your host, Brien Hanley.
Hey, everybody, what's going on? This is your man, Big B, Brien Hanley, and welcome to the Big 12 Insiders preview show. Got my man, Tim Fitzgerald, covers Kansas State for 24/7. Fitz, we got 6 games this weekend. Last weekend, we thought, not going to be such a great weekend, and it ended up turning the conference upside down on its head. This weekend, look, I'm not going to put anything past anything in this Big 12, Fitz.
No, I mean, the week before the release of the college football playoff rankings, 2 of your top teams lose. Iowa State and Kansas State. Wasn't a good weekend for the conference overall, but they were good wins for those programs, Houston and Texas Tech. And now we got another big one for Tech coming up, as all of a sudden they've entered the conversation, haven't they?
Yes, they have. A huge weekend for them. A couple other big games. Obviously, we're going to cover all of them. But yeah, this is a big weekend for Tech to kind of put up or shut up, I should say. You know, This is big opportunity.
I agree.
So
agree.
We'll get into all of that breakdown. Like I said, there's 6 games this weekend. We're going to get into all of that. But before we do, everybody remember, as always, continue to like, follow, subscribe, continue to leave those comments, and hit the notification bell so you know when all Big 12 Insiders content comes out. So we appreciate the support. We're on our way to 3,000 subscribers. So we appreciate it. Thank you guys for everything you've done for us, man. So we will keep putting these things out there as we transition into football/basketball. I don't know about we can get into the basketball conversation another day. It's starting too early, but it is.
Yeah, I agree. We're going to stick with football during football season, and
absolutely.
Eventually we'll do previews of basketball programs, but I like the fact that we're going to actually talk about the basketball programs after they've played some games and we have some substance.
Correct.
Boy, if we'd been able to do that in football, we probably would have had much different conversations.
Absolutely. So starting off the weekend, man, West Virginia going to Cincinnati. Again, this is a good football game as well. It's 11 a.m. on FS1. Cincinnati's favorite at home fits here, -4.5, over under 56.5. You know, I like Cincinnati in this football game. I like them at home. Look, this is one of those regional games for West Virginia. They haven't had too many regional games since they joined the Big 12.
No.
They haven't had any, really, other than playing at home. So this is an opportunity where they don't have to travel all the way across the country. So that's good for them. But I like Cincinnati at home in this football game.
I do too. This game's kind of about who's going to be in the conversation, because the winner will still kind of be in the talk.
Yep.
With opportunities to climb up in that upper 4. But you can see teams now kind of positioning themselves, to finish higher in the conference if they can win these games. And this is a big one. The team that wins this game is going to be feeling pretty good about their chances to be in the upper level of this conference. And maybe if they hang on to the fringe enough and there's enough chaos in front of them, they can sneak into the Big 12 championship. This is an interesting game. I would have picked West Virginia at the start of the year. Cincinnati is much better than we expected. I agree with you. I think I'm going to go with Cincinnati here.
Yeah, it's an opportunity. Again, I don't want to say an elimination game, because these two teams need a lot of help to get to get into the conference championship game. But again, we just talked about it. Anything is possible in this conference, Fitz. So they're not completely out of it. They're just not. They both have 2 losses. Now, the loser will be completely out of it, but the winner, you got a glimmer of hope there. So moving on. Look, next game up, Iowa State coming off of a home upset loss to Tech last weekend. They traveled to Kansas City for a quasi-KU home game. It's at 2:30 on FS1. Iowa State favored by 3. Here's the way that I look at that spread, Fitz. I look at that spread because we're lying to ourselves if we aren't going to consider this an Iowa State home game. They will have more fans at this football game than KU will. Period. End of story. So if you know anything about betting at all, -3 when you're at home, you're basically given 3 points no matter what. They give you the 3. That's how it usually works. Is Vegas looking at this, Fitz, like it's actually a home game?
If they're not, I kind of want to know that. Did Kansas get 3 points and it's actually a 6-point game?
Yeah.
This is going to be interesting because Iowa State's coming off a loss and probably playing this Kansas team that is finding itself off another bye week. Makes it interesting. This game could be really good. It's my 2:30 window game if I can watch basketball at 2:30. But what I love about this Saturday's games, we got it from 11 to shutting it down late night.
Yeah.
You could watch Big 12 football for 14 hours if you choose to. Yeah. And that's a beautiful Saturday, particularly since I don't have a football game myself to cover.
Yeah. That's one thing that I'm looking forward to. And I should have said that at the start of the show. I mean, from 11 a.m. until whatever time the last game kicks off. Could be 9:15, could be 9:45. Who knows? And again, that's all Central Time. So on the East Coast, it's even later. But either way, this game to me fits. Look, Iowa State, if they have any chance, I shouldn't say if they have any chance, but if they're wanting to get to Arlington and wanting the rest of the country to take them seriously, they have to win this football game. And Agreed. It's not a knock at KU saying if you lose to KU, you're not any good, because KU's they still have the talent. They just haven't figured out how to win football games. They keep giving these games away. Having said all of that, this is going to be a really good football game, tougher than what people think. 49.5 here, the over-under. I think I'm going to take the over on this one. That -3 is kind of what you said. At -3 with Iowa State, when it's a quasi-home game for them, even though it's technically on the road, I'm like, let me stay away from that one. But I'll take the over on the 49.5.
Yeah, this is going to be an entertaining game. Kansas is playing so much better. They got to get over their late game turnovers, and they'll be fine. Jalen Daniels looks healthy and kind of back to himself. Look, Iowa State's coming off a loss, and that stings. But it doesn't mean they can't suffer a second loss. For example, if they lose this game and move on and win out, yeah, at that point they're going to need help with Colorado. They need Colorado to lose. But if they win out, that means they beat Kansas State, which would mean since they don't have head-to-head with Colorado, they would have the tiebreaker because they beat Kansas State and Colorado didn't. So they've got a little bit of wiggle room, but I personally don't know that Colorado's going to lose another game. So as of now, they are in the driver's seat for that second spot. And if the Big 12 continues its chaos, it'll get interesting. But this one could be another one of the top teams losing a game. I actually would bet Kansas on this. I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, Kansas. I feel like Kansas has found itself, and that talent is still there. It never went away. And Kansas hasn't quit in any of these football games. They've just found a way to lose. I think the tide's going to start turning on that one. So you might be right. Next up, big game. Colorado at Texas Tech could technically be the spotlight game of the week. I picked it as a spotlight game of the week for the conference. 3:00 on Fox. Colorado favored by 4 on the road. Over under 62.5. Texas Tech coming off a huge win at Iowa State to basically push themselves into this Big 12 race. And if they want to stay in it, this is a game they have to win. Look, we talked to Jared Johnson, who covers Texas Tech for 24/7 Sports. We talked to him this week, and he basically said, Joey McGuire's like, yes, we beat Iowa State. What's next? And Texas Tech fans, Red Raider fans have been screaming, we want to play meaningful football games in November. It's been forever, Fitz, since they've been able to do that. They did it last week because last week it was November. It was early, but it was still November. And this week, again, they have meaningful football games in November. If you wanted to get yourself into any type of a spotlight, here's your opportunity, Tech. Having said all of that, give me Colorado -4.
I agree with everything you just said. But Tech doesn't have an opportunity here to prove that it belongs in this conversation because they will be with 2 losses on the fringe of getting to the Big 12 title game. And they'll need some more help there, I believe. But if you're Kansas State, this is the game. If you need Colorado to lose, this is probably the one when it needs to happen. And I don't think it's going to happen.
Nope.
Colorado, Lubbock's a different experience. It's tough. It's loud. They're great fans. They're rowdy. But I feel like this Colorado team is built for this game. They're going to feed off the crowd. It's going to get a little chippy, and they're going to score a lot of points. I certainly would probably take the over here because Tech's had some defensive problems. They looked much better last week at Iowa State. They've given up a lot of points. They've scored a lot of points, and that Colorado team I've watched will welcome scoring points. They'll get after you. So this could be a really good game.
Yeah, what you mentioned as far as defense giving up points, what Texas Tech, I mean, the one thing that you have to try to do is play coverage and get after Colorado with 4 guys. Tech doesn't do a really good job of that. And then their secondary on the back end hasn't played well. So it's kind of a recipe of, okay, you better outscore Colorado. Yep. Well, the most underrated thing about Colorado is how well their defense has played over the last 6 weeks. It's just played really good football, man. Throw out maybe the Kansas State game. The first 2.5, 3 quarters of the Kansas State game, maybe throw that out. But other than that, they've played some pretty good football on the defensive side, especially the last 3 games. It's been really, really good. So, like I said, I think it'll be entertaining, but I think in the end, Colorado will pull through in that game. Next up, UCF at Arizona State. Now, this has gone back and forth, Fitz. Is Cam Scatterboo. He wasn't going to play. Then he goes to questionable. Then he's back doubtful. It's like, okay, what's happening here? Vegas is listening because this line, you would think it would be more. It's at Arizona State, 6 p.m., ESPN2. But the line is only -2.5. So for Arizona State. And that's got me wondering because Arizona State has played some good defense and some good run defense. You know, they may be able to slow down the things that UCF is trying to do running the football. Now, UCF may have found their quarterback. Seems like it's about 2/3 of the season too late, but maybe they have found it. I don't know. But that line is scary. Fitz -2 at home. I don't know. I don't know if I like that or not. 55.5 is the over-under. I may take that and go with the over on that one, Fitz.
Yeah. UCF offensively scores a ton of points. They can move the ball on the ground through the air, solve that quarterback issue for the most part. Scatterboo's more than just a running back for Arizona State. He's kind of the heart and soul. He's the mascot. I mean, he's an absolute warrior. He goes to work, and they play without him. They're going to have to find that energy from somewhere else and find that guy that can pick up first downs, because how many drives does he perpetuate? Because he just won't get tackled until he's got the first down. I absolutely love watching him. So I hope he does play. But also I hope he stays like doubtful so I can get a suppressed line when I make my bet. And then he gets to go, he's going to play, and then watch the line just skyrocket. So just hold off until I can place that bet.
There you go.
Coach Dillingham, just do that for me. I know we haven't talked in a while. Sorry I didn't go to the wedding. But if you could do that for me, do me a solid and keep him as doubtful for now.
Yeah. I mean, the game in itself, look, Arizona State, again, one of those teams that technically is not out of this thing when it comes to Big 12 rankings. I mean, there's so many teams that have only lost 2. They're right there too. So this is a big game for them. UCF, they're not going to Arlington, but they can salvage their season. You know, they can do that. They're at 4-5 right now. They can salvage what's left of their season and put forth a good effort. Again, I thought they would be a better team, and I think technically they are a better football team, Fitz, but when you miss on the quarterback and then you miss again on the quarterback when you try to replace him and then it doesn't work again, it's actually gets worse. That's a problem. That's a problem. So But maybe they figured it out now. But I still, if Cam Scatterbo plays, I like Arizona State. If he doesn't, give me the over. That's all I'll say. If he doesn't play, give me the over. So,
agreed.
Moving on, Oklahoma State going to TCU again, 6 p.m. And again, all these times are Central Time, by the way. On FS1, TCU is favored by 10.5. Oklahoma State has quit. We saw that. We've seen it the last couple of weeks. We basically saw it the second half last week. They were in the football game. Technically, they were in that game. It was competitive, and then the long delay, and then the doors just absolutely just came falling off, and Arizona State just ran right through them. So for those reasons, I like TCU. Give me 10.5. Give me 20. I would take it. But this 10.5, I am taking TCU, man. Oklahoma State's quit.
Yep, I'm with you. TCU's kind of found itself a little bit better. They're playing better football. I think they win this in a blowout, and I think they run it up a little bit.
Yep.
Meanwhile, in Stillwater, if the police are interrogating you, be careful. They might turn on Oklahoma State football and make you confess, because nobody wants to go through that. Play that loud rock and roll with some Oklahoma State football on the screen, and I'm confessing to everything. Everything. It's just not fun to watch. Coach Gundy keeps sticking his foot in his mouth. It must be delicious because it's there an awful lot. Had to apologize again for something he said. It's a mess. It's hard to watch.
Hard to watch. The fall, I mean, you talk about a cliff. I mean, they fell right off a cliff. I mean, you go to the Big 12 championship game last year, you have the most experienced offensive line returning in the history of college football. But yet you have the Doak Walker Award winner, and now you can't run the football. It's absolutely incredible what has happened there. But it's happened, and it is not good football. They are a bad football team. It's just not good right now at Oklahoma State. So, and then the last game, the old Holy War, Fitz. BYU going to Utah, 9:15 or later on ESPN. I like this game. God rest his soul. My brother, I don't even know if he really liked the game per se. He just liked to say Holy War. He just loved to say the Holy War. And I'm going to be watching because I like the uniforms. I like that they both wear their home uniforms. I love the contrast between the two. I love me. I love hostility.
Lots of it.
And this is very, very hostile, this rivalry. I love chaos. I just love everything about it. And to be honest, they're new teams to the conference. BYU last year, Utah this year. Is it the best rivalry in this conference, Fitz?
I would go with that. Yeah. I mean, it's heated. Anything can happen here. Utah's been bad, but they might be a different team in the Holy War. Yeah. And it's on their home field. I mean, it's up against some interesting rivalries, but I don't see anyone with that kind of passion. Farmageddon between Kansas State and Iowa State is sort of there, but this goes way back. Yeah. And this is the real deal when it comes to rivalries.
No, it's a holy war. If it's a holy war, I just don't know. I mean, holy war, Farmageddon, I don't know that it matches up. Or any other rivalry, not just Farmageddon. You're going to have to come up with a good name to beat the whole, at least for me, to beat the holy war. And again, this is very hostile, man. And they just don't like each other. And I'm here for it. I love it. That, to me, fits a college rivalry. That's what this should be. That's what all college rivalries should be. You don't like each other. You have a disdain for each other. You want to beat the other one's brains in if you get the opportunity, because you can't tell me if one of these two teams has the opportunity to run the score up, they'll score 100 points. And that's what I think a rivalry would be. Just go blow them out, keep the starters in all game long, and embarrass them. I love it. Having said all of that, BYU -3 on the road. Utah still can't score any points. They haven't figured out their quarterback. Give me BYU in this football game.
Me too. I don't see anyone beating BYU. Yeah. This might be the one, but being on the road, I don't know. I'm looking forward to our first Big 12 version of the Holy War. I will be parked in front of my TV. I don't know if I'll make it to the end of the game because, as we've established many times, I'm soft, and I don't really want to, press myself by staying up too late because I've had to do that twice this season watching late night football that I'm covering. And while I'm a fan of Big 12 After Dark, I'm not a fan of it impacting my life. And that's just my American way. Whatever's good for me is what I want for all. And I'm going to enjoy the Holy War. I'm going to have some ice cream.
Ooh.
And I'm going to have some ice cream and maybe some pastries because I think BYU is going to win this. And they're going to have a lot of fun in the process of winning it.
Okay. Well, here's the thing. You brought up food. We do a food for anybody that's new to this. We do a food. What are we going to do with food watching football on Saturday? So you're going to have it. I've still got a little birthday cake left, Fitz. Look, and I'm a birthday cake person. That is my favorite dessert over anything. Birthday cake. I could get a birthday cake in August. My birthday's in November. So that is me. I can absolutely do it. And I'm easy. Vanilla with buttercream icing. I don't need anything crazy with just vanilla ice cream. That is me. Very, very simple, old school, but I love it. The basics. I'm going to have that for sure, but I don't know. It's going to be really kind of cold and dreary here in Dallas this weekend. We mentioned chili last week. Maybe I'll have the missus cook up some sloppy joes. Ooh. Sloppy joes are very good. Now, look, as a guy that's trying to lose some weight and slim his figure, sloppy joes don't really work itself into that diet, but I think it's sloppy joe time. People throw in the comments anything like a weird sloppy joe, recipe or something. Because, sloppy joe is kind of basic, but if you've got anything, extra to add, make some peppers or maybe some Italian sausage or something like that. Anything that you guys do with sloppy joes that might spice up the meal a little bit, per se. Let me know. What about you, Fitz? What do you think?
Okay. So, my wife's out of town this weekend, so I've got big plans.
Yeah.
Big plans. Fellas, you know what I mean.
That's right.
I'm going to watch football and not do anything else.
Do nothing.
Yeah, it's big plans. I like the sloppy joes. I haven't had sloppy joes in way too long, and I love them. I would probably do those on little Hawaiian roll sliders.
Oh, yeah. No. Absolutely. My wife, we already got it. She went to the store. She got it. She knows I love it. Because we were out of town for my birthday, and we didn't really have a birthday meal. And she's like, what about sloppy joes? She couldn't even get it out of her mouth fast enough for us. I said, yes, let's do it. Little Hawaiian rolls. Love it.
I'm not saying I'm old, but my birthday meals are now a pudding cup and some Jell-O. Yeah. But I think I'm going to do this. I'm going to order a lot of wings.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to get some wings, multiple flavors.
Yeah.
To kind of fit my mood. Maybe a little spicy here and a little barbecue here and, a little like Chipotle barbecue. I don't know, but whatever I want to do. Why? Because I'm a bachelor this weekend. If you want to call my wife being out of town that. So I'll probably do wings, lots of them. Maybe throw in some pizza there for like breakfast, dessert.
Well, the thing about it is that it's all day long. You can't just, I'm going to have wings. You can't eat wings all day. You got to have a little variety. So I'm definitely going to have wings, and I'm an early wing guy. I can eat wings at 11 o'clock, and I can eat them at 9 o'clock on a Saturday, and I'll be just fine. So I think I'll throw that in there a little bit. Little wings, little sloppy joes at night. I think I'm going to be happy this weekend.
Here's a weirdness. I like wings, that are straight out of the oven or the fryer. I also like cold wings. I'll put them in the fridge, cool them down, eat them cold. I'm a weirdo, man. I live by my own rules.
Exactly. And you're a bachelor this weekend. Nobody can tell you what to do.
I know. So. I'm gonna have lots of people over. That's not true. It'll just be me and my dogs. And by the way, shout out to Ben Herb Street.
Yeah, that was sad.
Kirk, as a dog owner. They're both right here with me.
Yeah,
hang in there, buddy. Man,
absolutely. Yeah, that's sad. I'm a dog lover myself. Yeah, that was too bad. That was too bad. So know what that's like. But Fitz, it's going to be another wild weekend in the Big 12, my man. I don't know exactly what upsets are going to be out there. I didn't really pick any upsets, but when you don't pick them, you know that they're gonna happen. I don't know where, but I'm looking forward to this weekend. I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with the Big 12 because, again, I just have a feeling that one way or another, this thing is going to get turned upside down on its head again this weekend.
Remember, Colorado fans, don't eat the tortillas.
Don't eat the tortillas. Don't you do it. So, all right, everybody. We appreciate everything that you guys have done. We appreciate you guys tuning in. Another good week here with Big 12 Insiders, having a ton of fun with this channel. Love the support that you guys are giving us. So we appreciate you, and we will talk to you guys next week. Have a good one.
Thank you for watching the Big 12 Insiders, your Big 12 sports show. This has been a Spirit Street production.